Please be seated. We invite Timothy Su to share with us his vocation.
So good evening, brothers and sisters. As Father has mentioned, my name is also Timothy, and I'm a fifth-year diocesan seminarian, and I'm actually attached to this parish of Queen of Peace for this year for my pastoral work with the youth on Sundays. So you may have seen me around. And actually I was here in 2019 also to share my vocation story on Good Shepherd Sunday. But I guess God has a reason for sending me back here. Maybe 2 years ago somebody didn't respond, so he wants that person to hear again. And so my vocation story can be characterized by 3 C's. And the first C, of course, is Christ. So I am a cradle Catholic, and after confirmation I tried my very best to be a good Catholic boy, right, using my own strength. However, my life only radically changed when I decided to attend a 6-week discipleship retreat called the School of Witness. And that was in 2010 after I completed my national service. And I attended because I felt like I had stagnated in my faith. And it was there that for the very first time I encountered the personal love of Jesus Christ for me. He really knew me, all my desires, my fears, my sins. And yet, he told me that he loved me unconditionally. And I believed Jesus with all my heart. And from then, there was this welling up of desire in me to seek his will for my life, something that I had never considered before. And slowly but surely, Jesus Christ became my all. I developed a great desire for intimacy with him, and all that I did found meaning only in him. And it was from there that the idea of the priesthood started to have its draw on me. While attending daily mass, I would find myself imagining what it would feel like to be the priest saying the prayers of consecration, preaching the homily, or even saying the words of absolution during confession. I started to wonder seriously, is such a life for me? And the second C flows from the first and is church. And of course, the diocesan priesthood is bound up with the bride of Christ. I remember being stumped as a youth when a mentor asked me if I loved the church. I felt like I couldn't answer. It was only through the experience of serving in ministry that I grew in my love for the church. And so after my School of Witness encounter, I continued to be involved in my parish youth community, while I also joined the campus ministry in university, where I studied law. And I must say that I was not so much interested in my studies than in reaching out to fellow Catholics, whom I found in surprising abundance in the law faculty. And it was these moments that I discovered that there was this deep desire in me to spend my life in the service of others to bring them to Christ and Christ to them. And this continued even in my working years, where I worked as a litigation lawyer. And I would be intentional in speaking to my non-Catholic colleagues about my faith, my discernment. And there were even moments when my bosses would call me into client meetings and ask me, Timothy, this is a Catholic client. Can you please pray for him or her? And again, I was not so much there to grow in my career or meet my billing targets, but really to help each other encounter Christ who loved me first. And all this really helped me recognize that I can love Christ best by being totally dedicated and available to his mystical body, the church, as a priest. There was this deep resonance between who God wanted me to be and the priesthood. And the third and final C is celibacy. Such a word is not so popular these days, much less for a young adult like me whose contemporaries are getting married and having children. And perhaps it seems even foolish to choose celibacy in this age where we can have everything at our fingertips. But yet I am convinced that celibacy lies at the heart of the diocesan priesthood as the gift of Christ to his church. And of course, there are things that I had to give up. I had to end a relationship with a good Catholic girl to be more serious and committed in my discernment to the priesthood. And just 2 months ago, I carried for the first time my newly born goddaughter, and I just thought to myself, wow, I will never have the experience of carrying my own children in my arms. But a defining moment for me in embracing celibacy was at a silent retreat when I was just praying with this passage from Isaiah. And I imagined that God had created an oasis for me to enjoy, right? I was swimming in the pool, enjoying the fruits from the trees. And two choices were presented to me then. I could choose the woman of my dreams and raise a family and live in this oasis to enjoy, or I could be a caretaker of this oasis and take care of it and allow others to come and enjoy its beauty. And in that moment, my heart of hearts leapt towards the choice of being a caretaker, which to me represented the priesthood as a gift to the church to allow others to come and experience Christ. And that moment, a great peace and a deep joy filled my heart. This was to be my response to his call. And I've come to realize that celibacy is not about saying no, but a big yes, like the Good Shepherd, a total gift of oneself to Christ and his church. And so this third C, celibacy, is a response, an entrustment of oneself to the first two C's, Christ and his church. And I eventually responded by entering the Diocesan Seminary in 2017. And my experience of these three C's have continued to deepen and grow over the past 4 years of formation. And so, dear friends, I thank you for listening to this little story of mine. And I have a last C for all of us as disciples of Christ. That is courage. Let us respond to how he's calling us in our hearts, whether or not to the diocesan priesthood or not, but he's calling all of us to lay down our lives for him and his church. And do keep all of us seminarians in prayer as well. Thank you and God bless.
Thank you, Brother Timothy Su.